You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to another episode of Unstoppable Actors. I'm so excited that you are here, whether you are a regular listener. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Whether you are a brand new listener and you've just found us either on Spotify, Audible, the website or somewhere else, hope this is going to be the first of many episodes. But whether you're a regular listener, you're brand new, it doesn't matter. You are in exactly the right place to help you start getting some fire behind your acting career and your acting performances. I absolutely love creating these episodes for you because in my nearly 14 years of coaching actors, I have seen all sorts of things get the better of actors. And I've also been able to help guide actors away from the things that get the better of them so they can get on their way to being unstoppable. And if you are really serious about being an unstoppable actor, then you are in the exact right place. I also really love hearing how these episodes help you. And I love nothing more than when you reach out on the emails, which is podcast@standbymethod.com, and you send me a quick email to say, hey, Louise, just listen to whatever episode it is, and you tell me what you got from it. I love that because when I'm creating these episodes for you, I literally have no idea who I'm creating them for. I've obviously got an idea in my head because I've been coaching actors for nearly 14 years, and I do see the same issues cropping up time and time again, but I don't actually get to engage with you. It's just me talking. And yeah, so I love it when you reach out to me. So if you get to the end of this episode and you're like, do you know what? I feel really inspired by this. I want to email Louise and tell her. Please do. podcast@standbymethod.com. Another way that I love hearing from you is when you rate the episode or rate the podcast. I love that because it tells me that I'm delivering what you need. And that's all I want to do. I want to deliver to you what you need. So please do rate the podcast as well. It really means the world to me. And of course, it allows me to help more actors. This episode specifically focuses on low-level nerves. Now, I've seen low-level nerves hit actors of all levels, whether they're brand new and have just made the decision to start pursuing acting professionally, and they're just getting started with the training with me, whether they've been auditioning for a prolonged amount of time, whether they're getting regular paid work, or, whether they've taken a break from the industry and they're returning. I have seen low-level nerves hit all levels of actors. So please don't listen to this thinking, oh, you can only have low-level nerves if you are brand new, or whatever story you might be playing in your head, because they hit actors of all levels, because we are all humans on this journey. What's interesting, however, is even though I've seen this, there's not really very much written about it on the internet. There's not very much out there in the way of podcasts or videos, because I did a hell of a lot of searching. And so I'm really excited to share this with you because it needs speaking about more. So I'm going to begin by sharing with you 5 key primetime hotspots for when low-level nerves can hit you the most. And I just want to reiterate again, it doesn't matter where you are on this journey. It doesn't matter whether you only decided yesterday I want to be a professional actor, or whether you've been auditioning for 3 years on and off. It doesn't matter because, as I've already said, we're humans, and as humans, we do experience nerves. So the first key primetime hotspot of when nerves can hit you is moments before hitting record on that self-tape, for obvious reasons. The second one is the minute you say your first line, again for obvious reasons. The third one is mid-performance, even after you've been fully in the groove. Maybe you've got 4 scenes in and then all of a sudden these low-level nerves hit you. Yes, that can happen even after entering the performance really relaxed. Another key primetime hotspot for low-level nerves is during the preparation stage. So you've not even done any performances yet, you're just doing the character prep. That one can be a bit surprising for some people. And then another surprising one is when you actually get cast in something. So you get that email or that phone call or that text message or whatever it is to say you've got the role, the initial excitement has faded, and then you are hit with these low-level nerves. So I want you to be aware of these because they can hit you in one of those places or a combination of those places. But the first thing you need to do is be self-aware of when they can hit you. It's not an exhaustive list, but it is a list of the key prime time hotspots for low-level nerves. So start to make a mental note when you are experiencing low-level nerves of where you're actually, and when I say where, I don't mean where as in like, are you in the bathroom? Are you in your bedroom? Are you eating your tea? I don't mean where as in the location. I mean, where on the journey are you? And those 5 key ones are the ones that I see crop up the most. I am going to go into the 4 signs of low-level nerves and how they manifest, but let's give an example of an obvious way that nerves show up that people speak about regularly, whether it be on blogs, whether it be in other podcasts, whether it be wherever. One of those obvious ways is the lines disappearing. Your mouth going dry, your heart racing, your mind is blank, you stop believing you can portray the character. Now, that is an obvious sign that nerves are slinging you off the stage and they're taking a hold of the character, meaning you have created 100 miles between you and the character, 100 miles between you and your imagination. You're no longer present. But what about the subtle signs of nerves? I personally don't understand why more people are not talking about this, but the good thing is you're listening to this episode, so you're all right, you're in good hands. Now, many actors wouldn't necessarily associate themselves with having performance anxiety, but if you've ever experienced one of these 4 things that I'm going to share with you in a moment, you are suffering from low-level nerves, which is a form of performance anxiety. Now, this doesn't mean you're a bad actor. It doesn't mean anything about you. It just means we've got to do something about it. So it's good to have this awareness. So the first one is going overboard with the character preparation to the point where you just do not know when to stop. That means you are constantly reading the script. You are constantly trying to figure out who this person is. Now, I do talk about doing this and reading the script multiple times from cover to cover. I do also talk about going to the nth degree with the character and not leaving any stone unturned, but it becomes a burden when it is taking up all of your time, and what starts to happen is the character becomes very logical to you now, and what you've done is you've disconnected from your heart, which is where the emotions are. It's all just become really logical. Or you've done that much character preparation, you now feel chaotic and messy and everything's in a spin. Like, you can't really make any clear choices because you find one thing, one clue, and then you find another, and that contradicts the first one you found, and then you feel like you're spinning your tail. But if you find yourself going completely overboard with the character preparation to the point where you don't know where to stop, that is one sign that you are experiencing low-level nerves. And I'm going to explain to you what nerves are after I've gone through all the signs, because it might seem obvious to you what nerves are, but actually sometimes we do just need them explaining. So we go, do you know what? I'd never considered that, because there are some other things to do with nerves that you might not necessarily have heard of before. The second key sign is that you're asking your director for feedback after every scene because you're unsure whether you've delivered what they wanted. And I think that's really self-explanatory. I think that's really obvious. You're looking for validation because you don't believe in yourself. The third key sign is that when someone gives you positive feedback, you doubt it. You don't believe that it's true. You think, I'm sure they just say this to everyone, or they're making that up. I experienced this many, many years ago when I was 17 and I was auditioning for drama schools, and I got a really lovely compliment, a really lovely bit of feedback from one of the auditions, and I just brushed it off and dismissed it and was like, nah, they just must be making this up. They must say this to everyone. And I honestly thought I'd done a rubbish job and didn't think I were going to get a place. That's low-level performance anxiety. I'm sharing all of these knowing I've seen it in the actors that I've coached, and I've experienced it myself as well. So when you're hearing these things, be compassionate towards yourself, be kind towards yourself, give yourself some grace. We're all here to make mistakes, and then we'll learn from them. And that's how we grow and become stronger as an actor. The fourth key sign that you are experiencing low-level nerves is that you keep looking at the lines leading up to the performance, even though you have spent ample time learning them. And in our Unstoppable Actors group, I put a poll in there a couple of days ago and I asked, which out of these 4 are you experiencing? And the one that I've just shared about the lines going over and over and over and over them was the one that came out on top, being the one that actors experience more than any other. And again, this is because you don't believe in yourself. You are doubting yourself that you know the lines. Every single one of these 4 signs of low-level nerves is coming from a place of fear. You are experiencing low-level nerves if you are doing any one of those 4 things. What that means is your body is in a low-level fight or flight. What's happening is your nervous system has been triggered and activated on a very low level, but now this is perpetuating overthinking. And it could be overthinking of, I'm going to make myself look stupid. I'm going to make a fool of myself. I'm going to forget the lines and blank on stage or on set and look silly. Or it could be, I'm not good enough. You will know what's going on in your own head. But when you are overthinking, what happens is you then feed back into that low-level fight or flight that's kicked in your nervous system. And then that nervous system fight or flight then perpetuates the overthinking. And what you've done is you've got yourself stuck in this cycle, and the two are feeding each other. The feelings from the nervous system are feeding the overthinking, and the overthinking is feeding the feelings, these low-level nerves. For some of you, you won't even be feeling nerves in your body. It's that subtle, but your nervous system has been activated. Now, some say that nerves can elevate a performance. Some say that nerves can give you the energy you need, and that may be true for some of you, but my question is, if your nervous system has activated the fight or flight response in you, even on a low level, how does that help you get into a state of creativity? What it actually does is takes you out of the present moment. And acting is all about being present and responding in the moment. So even when those low-level nerves are kicking in, even if you can't feel them in your own body, you are still not fully present, because there is a part of you that is in your head thinking, censoring, trying to engineer, trying to manufacture the performance to what you think will be a good performance, which means it's not happening organically or spontaneously. Now, the dictionary definition of nerves is bracing oneself mentally to face a demanding situation or feelings of nervousness. Now, we've already established that with low-level nerves, you might not actually get the sensations of nerves in your body. But what you are doing is you are bracing yourself mentally, but not in a positive way, in a negative way, because it's coming from fear. You are catastrophizing. And again, this might be very subtle on what could go wrong. I've spoke about this many times in previous episodes, but this leads to tension in the body, and this is known as mental tension in the mind, which Lee Strasberg called the occupational disease of the actor, for the very reasons that I've just laid out. It stops you being present, it puts 100 miles between you and the character, 100 miles between you and your creativity, 100 miles between you and your imagination. And you might, if you're a little bit further along the line and you've got a bit of experience behind you, or maybe you're a well-seasoned actor, these low-level nerves are actually stopping you from tapping into your full power as an actor. And it's probably become a habit and a way of life for you in terms of your performances. So what I need you to do is firstly recognize those primetime hotspots when those thoughts are being triggered. And I went over those at the beginning of the episode. Then I want you to ask yourself what the thought is behind this. Now, there's usually an image that you've got in your head based on a future projection of something going wrong, which is known as catastrophizing. And it's usually coming from fear, such as, I'm just never going to be able to remember all these lines, or you're telling yourself a story that I'm too old, can never remember lines. Whatever it is, you will know what this is, but you've got to ask yourself what either that image is or what the past experience is that is feeding this fear, because both of them play into fear. Then you've got to make it a primary part of your process as an actor to challenge these thoughts and to get the body into what we call an artistic prison, which is a state of complete relaxation and surrender physically and imaginatively. I can help you with this, and I'm going to share how at the end of the episode. But before I do, whatever place on the spectrum your nerves are, they 1000% must be destroyed if you are to fully and completely lose yourself in the role and capture the imagination of those directors and agents you want to work with. Because right now, at the early stages of your career, those are the people who you really need to be getting on board. Because the alternative of not doing this, of not facing these nerves head on, is you leaving your name off the cast list and destroying your own confidence. And I have seen this time and time again where actors are experiencing these low-level nerves and they start self-sabotaging. They won't apply for auditions, or they apply for auditions and they go to them but they self-sabotage in the audition or before the audition. I don't want that for you, because that slows your career progression down. It means it makes it so much harder for you to get anywhere in the acting industry. I'd rather you just face this head on and destroy the nerves. And so I mentioned the artistic prison, which is something you need to get yourself into. I am going to show you what the artistic prison is and how you get into it and how you destroy the nerves in simple ways with simple to understand, simple to take on board exercises inside a brand new course I've created that is available for 500 actors for free. Once all 500 places have been taken, it then becomes a paid course. This course is called the Nerve Destroyer, Lose Yourself in the Role. It is a complete training for new and early career actors. I highly advise you go and get yourself a place on this, because what I do in that course is take the lessons I've just given you in this episode to a visual level. I can't teach you visually on a podcast, but when you register your place on the Nerve Destroyer, you get access to our online classroom, and I've already created visual lessons for you that on pre-recorded videos, pre-recorded lessons that you watch. I give you the theory behind things. I show you the exercises practically. You get workbooks to do. You also get a scene to test out these new exercises on. So it takes what I've taught you in this episode to the next level. And it's for those people, those actors who want to take this to the next level and who are absolutely fucking determined with every cell in their body to smash these nerves once and for all. It doesn't matter what level of your career you're at. You can be of any level to come and take this. You might have worked in Hollywood. You might have worked with the world's best casting directors. There's still something you can learn, and there's still lots of refreshers in there for you. You might be brand new. You might have only decided 60 minutes ago that you want to be a professional actor and you're going to go all in with it. Brilliant. Wherever you are on the spectrum, it will serve your acting career to take this training. So the place that you can get it is either by clicking the link underneath the episode, or you can simply type into your search engine bit.ly/nerve destroyer, all in lowercase. It's available for free for 500 actors. After that, it becomes paid. So either go and click that link underneath the episode or type bit.ly/nerve destroyer into your search engine and go and snap up one of those free 500 places. That, combined with the lessons that I've given you in this episode, are going to make you a very powerful actor. That I can promise you. And I want to coach you. I want to see you in there because I want more unknown actors breaking out into the industry. It's about time this started happening. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please leave a rating. And of course, go and get your place inside the Nerve Destroyer. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.